something that we feel super far away from right now, even though it happened over 10 years ago. It's like somebody comes home, he's an 18, 19-year-old kid who has been altered to an extent that he literally doesn't even know his sister anymore. Go on. So that says a lot about how we digest what has gone down, and the sort of media coverage of it and how it's funneled to us, and then how we sort of regurgitate our own feelings, because those feelings are given to us and not necessarily defined by us. And I think that the reason I really love this and the reason I wanted to do it myself was we get to sort of tell people that it's totally okay to think for yourself, and that it's encouraged, and that you're only going to be able to feel anything in a way that's entire, as if you step outside of it and inside of it, and not away from it, because it's scary to think about, but it's absolutely worth it. And I think it's also important to note that my character will never know her brother again the way that she used to, because she'll never experience what he has. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't require the amount of it requires more thought, not less thought, than you might want to give something that's hard to think about. Garrett?
I wanted to, because Zane was doing it. Yeah. It was the book written by Ben Fountain was incredible, and it was a book that it was probably the best book that I've read in the last 5 years or so. It was amazing, and the fact that he was doing it. It was about the war, and it was about a heavy subject, but also sort of in some way, politically correct and indifferent from what we've seen in most situations. I thought it was incredible. I thought the book was insane. I thought I thought the lead actor was insane.
He's really good at it.
Great.
Thank you.
And so, Garrett, did you, in Kristen's summary of why you wanted to do the movie, she mentioned maybe that you knew people who had served. Is that the case?
No,
Oh,
never.
sorry.
I mean, look, there's a certain part of me that felt like. There's a certain part of me within doing. Look, I played 5 soldiers in the last 7 films I've done, and there's a certain part every time that feels like I'm thanking somebody from my life, or somebody that I know within each one. Within this one, I was thanking my father every morning, my grandpas. One grandpa was in Vietnam, the other in Germany, and so there's something to that. I mean, it doesn't really mean anything to anybody else, but it meant something to me.
I wasn't making funny, I was just doing an impression.
Okay, and just quickly, Kristen and Joe, I'd love to hear about working with Ang Lee and what that experience was like for you.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously, well, in my mind, he is one of the best living directors that there is. He's a visionary, and I know he's
visionary.
Yeah, he's a visionary, and he's constantly pushing boundaries in all his films. And even if thematically there are ties, there's no two ways of telling it that are the same. He's always trying to push it to the next level, be it with the technology or the content. And that's exciting to work with someone who wants to take risks, and it's exciting that it will divide people. And he's brave, and I like that. And he's just a really, really good person. Yeah.
Kristen, did you learn something new from working with Ang, do you think, on this film?
I mean, it would be hard to put my finger on it exactly, but every time you work with someone who's that boldly attached to why they do what they do, it's validating for me, because it's hard to define those terms. It's like, why are you drawn to a story or to another person in order to like team up and do something greater than yourself? It's always like kind of a risk, and he's, like he said, he's brave. He's bold. It's he like wants to get closer to something that people are more than people are comfortable getting close to. It's like it's not a very normal way of telling a story, and it's weird too, because like usually with like technology, you get further away from something, you know, like people think of performance pieces, like character-driven pieces, as being like small little indie flicks, like sometimes like all shot on like handheld and like found, and this is surgical, yet it's not controlled. You know what I mean? It's like the most technically we have so many parameters, but it sprawls in this way that only I feel like somebody who had faith in the technology could allow it to be like, you know, so freeing. I just think I think it's pretty impressive.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for
Thank
joining
you.
us. Bye.